Back to my channel, and today I'm going to show you how to make an agate coaster. If you see how an agate looks like, I have different layers. We have the core in the middle, which will be a lighter color, and then it'll be other colors around it, starting from the lightest color all the way to a darker color. So what I'm going to use today for the core, I have some, this is all Premo. I have some white pearl Premo mixed with white translucent. Then for the other colors, I'm going to use Peacock, Ultramarine, and Gold. So what I did was I mixed the white pearl Premo, I mix it with the Peacock. So this one is like a lighter color. Then this one is just the white pearl Premo. And then this is another one that I mix with the Peacock and the white pearl. And it's a little slightly darker color. This one, I wanted to do like a marble effect, so I didn't mix it all the way. Then this is just the Peacock color. This is the aquamarine, and I mix it with some glitter, blue glitter, and then this is gold. And then I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, with this one, the white pearl, I put some glitter. It's like white glitter in here. You can use any type of glitter. So I'm going to make the core. Just put some translucent in there. And I already, I mixed my colors and I let them rest for a couple of hours because I wanted all those colors to be more firm, because I think it's easier when you're trying to do the agate. It's just, if it's too soft, I just cannot work with that. It's just way too soft. So you can let it rest. If not, if you have a firmer, some of the colors in Premo are really soft. Like this white pearl is really soft. Some others are like more harder than others, but it's just up to you if you want to let it rest or just put it in the freezer for a couple hours, whatever you want to do. So make sure you condition this, you know, really well, because this white translucent is a little bit crumbly. I don't know why. It depends. Sometimes it's really crumbly, like really dry, and some, when I buy it, it was, some packages are like softer than others, I guess. I don't know if they've been sitting on the shelf for a while. It just depends. For some projects, you need it to be crumbly, like not crumbly, but hard. So, and then I'm gonna be adding a gold leaf, metal gold leaf. This is the one by Speedball, metal leaf. And I'm gonna be adding that here. Let's see if I mix a little bit more. That's pretty big. Let's probably cut a little bit. And make sure you don't have any air bubbles on your clay. Just making sure this is even. All right, so I'm going to add this. Just add it to the top. And I'm just going to run this through the pasta machine. I'm just going to run it. Let's see. And then just run it in there a couple times. And then fold it in half. And then run it again. And then we're gonna make a cylinder. And that's gonna be our core. And you can add a little bit more if you want. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna make a cylinder. Alright, just push it down on both sides. Alright, so this is going to be our core for the agate. Make sure you don't have any air bubbles in there. Alright, so I'm going to start running all these colors through the pasta machine. I'm starting from this one. You can use your roller if you want and flatten it out. But I like to do it in the through the pasta machine so I know So what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply this on the core. I'm starting from like the lightest color all the way up to the gold one. And it does not have to be perfect. I'm just going to start. Let's see, I'm just going to cut this so this is straight. And then just go around. Sorry if I'm not on camera. And just go around it like this. And then you're gonna grab a needle tool and then just gonna make some indentations on the sides. just go like this. Okay, I'm gonna do the other ones off camera because this is gonna take a while, then I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so I'm almost done adding all the layers. And it doesn't have to be all perfect. And then just grab this needle tool and then just make some irregular like indentations in there. I'm just gonna trim this. Alright, the last one is the gold. I'm going to clean this. Just has a lot of the blues here and the glitter. Don't want it to get mixed with the gold. You might make sure you constantly clean your surface because you'll get like one little bit of another color. And yeah, that happens a lot. So I'm gonna run this to the pasta machine. Just too wet. Let's see. I don't think this is going to be big enough, long enough to cover the entire. I'm gonna have to add a little bit of more gold in there. Just a little bit. I hate when the pasta machine, you're mixing colors and then they start to get mixed up in the pasta machine, and then you get all this other blues and other stuff in there mixed. It's like frustrating. Okay, so let's see. Let's make sure it's. Make sure it covers. Alright, so now we got all the colors. And what I like to do, I like to let it rest for a little bit, so it's not as soft. But you can cut it in the middle if you like. But I like to let it rest for a little bit. But this is quite soft, so when I cut it, it's not like all soft. So I'm gonna let it rest for a few minutes and I'll be back and I'll cut it. All right, so we're gonna cut this in the middle. Let's see how it looks like. It's pretty firm. I let it rest for like 10 minutes. Let's see. Okay, so this is what we have in the middle. And you can just push it, like press it. And then I'm gonna cut a couple of slices. So I'm trying to make a coaster, and if I have enough, I'll make a pendant too. I think I'll have pretty much, I have enough. This is a lot. So depending if you want to make it thicker or thinner, you will have to, I will just cut like in the middle, not too thick, because if you cut it thick and you will be making a big one. If it's like thin, it will be like smaller. But let's see. I'm just try to make it as even as possible. So grab your roller, and now we're gonna flatten it out, and then just make sure you when you're doing this, you want to do it on both sides, and make sure you flatten it out and all sizes like this. The thing is, when you're trying to flatten this out, it's going to, on this side, you have to pick which side you want it to show. I think this is the side that I'm going to because this one is not going to be, well, this is not going to be, and then you can give it a shape that you want. Let's see, this will not be big enough. I'll probably have to cut another one to make it really big. This could be a smaller one. I mean, you can use it not for specifically to like a coaster. You can have this and put your supplies on top, anything. But if you want to make a coaster, it has to be really big. So if you're trying to fit a cup in there, then what I do, I just squeeze it a little bit to give it like the shape. Let me just cut another one, like thick enough. Let's see. I'm just trying to flatten it out on both sides. I'm just trying to push it in because I want both sides to be like this one. I flatten it out too much and I'll see, but this will be like the back. You won't be able to see it, but I want it to be kind of the same on both sides. But it probably won't be the same, but it's okay. Then what you can do is with your hands, stretch it out so you're not rolling it, and then roll it again. Just stretch it out with your hands, and then roll it again, and roll it again. And then with this needle tool, you're going to make some indentations to make it look like an agate. And you can just make it like that and keep it. Shaping it the way you want it to be shaped. Like that. And just like that. Then you can stretch it out with your hands so you're not rolling it out too much. And it's just stretch it out a little bit more. And that's it. I think I will stop here. And then I'll make a couple more. This one could be, I'll just do the same. And just stretch it out with your hands. You can see this one is big enough so you can put something on the top, like anything, I don't know, your supplies. But like I say, if you want to make it big for a cup holder, coaster, it will probably fit a small cup. Alright, so for the pendant, I'm going to cut a small piece. Like this. Then I'm going to roll it out just a little bit. It doesn't have to be that big. And then we're gonna make like a teardrop shape. Just squeeze it. And then I'm gonna do this with the needle tool again. And then flatten it out a little bit more. You can make it as, I don't know if you want to make it smaller, you don't stretch it out as much, but I think this is a good size. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some liquid clay in the middle. I'm using this one, the liquid Polymer Clay, and then I have this mixing cup. I'm gonna add a little bit in there, and then I'm going to add some of this gold leaf. I'm gonna add it to the mix, to the liquid clay. Just add a little bit of piece in there. Let's see. And then mix it. You don't need much. Then mix it. So the metal leaf are like small pieces in there. You want to do it as small as you can. To add this mix of the liquid clay with the gold in here. I was thinking about maybe, okay, so just apply a little bit. Okay. I think I'm gonna add more of that gold leaf in there. It's like not showing that much. And just add it in the middle. Oh, this one is a little thick. I'll take this off. And just make sure you only put it on the core part of this agate. And then I'm going to bake this for 1 hour, and then when you take it out of the oven, you will hit it with the heat gun. And then we'll just, the liquid clay will start out, will give it a shine. And just, alright, so I made 3 agate coasters and 3 pendants. I'm going to show you a little bit of a close-up on the pendants. So this is how it looks with the liquid clay and the gold leaf in there. Let me see, because it was kind of far away when I was doing it. I just realized. And then this is how it looks. And then I'm gonna bake them for an hour at 275 Premo recommended temperature. And once they are out of the oven, I will get my heat gun and I will heat it with the heat gun for a few seconds with the pendants. And then I'll be back and I'll show you how to sand the coasters. And it's 275 Premo if you're using Premo. If you're using another brand, you had to check. Make sure you check the temperature. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so our pieces are out of the oven, and You can see the ones that have the liquid clay is shiny in the middle. Okay, so now the next step is to sand this. We're not sanding the pendants. We're just gonna sand this. So for this step, you're gonna need a bowl of water with a little bit of dish soap, and you're gonna need sandpaper. This one is, you can find it at the hardware store. It's a 3M, and I start from 400 all the way to 3000. So we're gonna start this in. I get like a towel because it's gonna get wet. And just put it right here. So what I do, I just dip this in the water. You can use this without the water, but I recommend using it with water. So you're gonna just do this in circle motions like this. Just get a little bit of water. And what you can do is, it'll be easier to go like this. And just do circle motions, and then dip it in the water again. And I'm gonna sand the back too. Just put it in the water and then rinse this out. And then do the back. I mean, the back is optional. You don't have to sand the back, but I just want it to be smooth on both sides. Keep doing it. You're starting to get really smooth. It's so smooth. Okay, now I'm gonna do the 600 one, and then do the same thing, dip it in the water. Let's put this here, and then just go in circle motions. Okay, I'm gonna continue doing this because it's gonna take a while to go all the way to 3000. And I'll finish, when I'm done, I'll come back to do the next step, which will be the resin. All right, so I'm done with the sanding process. And here are the coasters. They feel really, really smooth. So I'm going to resin the coasters, and I'm going to use 2-part resin. This one is from Amazing Clear Cast. I got this from Michael's. And this is, there are the bottles, part A and part B. Recommend using gloves and a mask because this one has, I think they changed the formula on this, and it has a very, very strong smell. And you gotta make sure you wear gloves. So you're gonna have to mix equal parts, and it comes with a little measuring cup and a stick. So what I did was I got permanent marker, and I mark where I want the part A to stop. So I'm gonna do 15 cc, and then part A is gonna stop here, and then part B will be 30 cc, so 30 ml. I mean, you can do like 2 cups, part A and part B, and then get another cup and mix them together. But I think that's just too much work. And then I don't know if by pouring it in a different cup, you're gonna have to make sure you scrub every little bit and then mix it. So I was trying to get a bigger cups so I could just do more resin, but I couldn't find them on time. But that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna just wear my my gloves. And make sure you have a mask. So I'm going to mix equal parts, and then I'm going to mix this for about 3 to 5 minutes, making sure I mix it very slowly. Make sure I scrape all like the bottom and the sides. So very slowly until there's no swirls. And then I'm gonna let this sit for 10 minutes. So I see all the, make sure the bubbles will start rising to the top, and you want that. And then you can hit it with the light. I'm gonna hit it with this. This is a lighter that you use for like barbecue. And I'm gonna just hit it with the light. And you gotta make sure you have a silicone mat. This is the one that I'm gonna be using. But that will be later when I, so now I'm just gonna mix this. Let's see, part A. Oh, let's see if I can get a piece of paper, because this could get quite messy. And I don't really like using this. I like to use the UV light one, which is like, you just like pour it and then put it on the UV light. But since I'm doing like big pieces, I don't have enough. I don't want to waste this. So this is very thick. So I'm just gonna start pouring this. Sorry if I can't, if it's not on the camera, but I really need to see what I'm doing. And this is very, very, very thick. Just keep pouring this. Okay, let me set this down. So it make sure it has to be very precise, equal parts of both. Then just go like this, and then let it sit till you see that line where you put like with the marker. Then you're gonna do the other one. I think that's good. So now you do this one. You do the same one, and then you're gonna go all the way to 30. I think this one, the part B, is not as thick as the part A. That is so, it smells really bad. Okay, hold on. Just keep on. Make sure you don't do it too fast. Need a little bit more. Okay, I think that's good. And you can wipe this later. So now we have equal parts. So now we're going to mix this. I'm gonna set a timer for like 5 minutes. Could be 3 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna mix this. Make sure when you mix this, you mix it very, very slow. Since this is all the way almost to the top, I don't want it to spill. And you're gonna mix this very slowly. And you see the swirls there. Make sure you scrape everything, bottom and the sides. This type of resin can be a little bit intimidating because you gotta mix and then mix equal parts, and then this is a lot of steps. And when I started doing polymer clay, I started using this. I didn't know anything about UV light resin, and then I started using this, and I'm like, oh well. And then you have to let it cure for 24 hours. I mean, there's a lot that goes into doing this. But if you follow all the directions, I think, you know, you'll be fine. You just have to get used to it. Just make sure you scrape it. Next time I'll probably get a bigger cup because I'm so scared I'm going to spill this. And then you can use a UV light resin if you want, but you'll have to waste more. But it is easier. Just, I think the pendants, I will do the UV light. I'm sorry, the UV resin, because they're smaller. I will have to make sure I have enough. And just keep mixing. So I'm gonna keep mixing this. And after I'm done mixing this, I'll be back. I'm gonna let this sit for 10 minutes just to wait for all the bubbles to rise to the top. And then I'll come back and start pouring this into the pieces. And I'll be back. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. And now you can see all the bubbles on the top. And I'm just gonna hit it with this light, with this lighter. And then I'm gonna start pouring. There's just a little bit in there. I don't know if if I have enough, I'll just do the little ones, pendant ones. But I'm gonna start with this first. So you're gonna start pouring this, and you're gonna let it flow over the entire surface. So you got your stick, gloves, and your mask. Oh, and then with the stick, just gonna have to just let it flow by its, like, naturally. Because with the UV one, you just smooth it with the stick, but this one is, you're gonna have to let it flow by itself. Yeah, you're gonna have to do that. Let me see. Gotta make sure this is not gonna. I'm gonna do the other one. And do this one too. Yeah, this could take quite some time. Just to wait around. Let's see. And you don't want to pour too much, because then it should start spilling all over the place. It'll overflow. And you'll be tempted to, like, try to move it around, but you can't do that. Let's see. And then once this once all the resin is all over the surface, if you see any bubbles, just hit it with the light. And you can also use a little bit of alcohol on spray alcohol on the surface, and that will really clear all the bubbles. And when it cures really nice and shiny. So you can do the lighter and the alcohol. And you gotta let this cure for 24 hours, because last time it took almost 24 hours. And then you can pour just a little bit here when you're done, and so you can see if it's cured or not, so you don't have to touch your pieces. So I'm just gonna let this flow. It's just gonna take a while, and then I'll come back in 24 hours to see how this looks. And what I did last time, I just let it sit for a while, for like about 5 minutes, because that's when the bubble starts to rise, and then you can hit it with the light. So just wait a little bit, because if you're like, okay, it's done, and you leave, and there will be one bubble there that will show up, and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't see that one. So just wait for like 5 minutes after you're done, after this is done, moving around, and then just hit it with the light and the alcohol. And then, because there will be bubbles showing up like out of nowhere, and that will be bad if you just started your project and like, oh well, you don't want to see bubbles. Okay, so I'll see you in 24 hours and see how this goes. Hi guys, so here are the coasters and the pendants. They're already cured completely. It took about maybe 9 hours. I left them inside my house for a couple hours, and then I went back and checked on them, and they were kind of sticky, so I took them out right with under the sun, and I cover it, and that really speed the process. So if you want to do that, it really helps a lot. So by nighttime it was pretty much already cured. And the pendants, I used the UV resin, and I used the lamp, so that one took like 15 minutes. So you can leave the coaster as it is, or you can personalize it by writing something, like whatever you want to write, your name, any words. I did some coasters before, and I did this. I wrote, you can write anything you want. I wrote the word love, and this one faith. You can write whatever you want. And I use this gold leaf pen, and if you know how to write in cursive, you can do that. Let me show you. What I do first is practice on a piece of paper, because it took me a couple of tries. And if you're, let me see, if you write it and you don't like it, just have a wet wipe with some alcohol, and then just wipe it immediately, and then do it over and over again. And then you just write whatever you want to write on a piece of paper. If you like how it looks, you can just write it on here. Let's just write the word love. Let's see, I wanted it to be a little bit thinner. Let's see. And then when you, before you use it, make sure you shake it, and then just press it on the paper. And then I guess if you wanted to do it thicker, and just press. And if you want a fine letter, you just have to do the tip, like the corners. Let's see, I'm just gonna write it and see how it comes out. So we want to just do it right here in the middle. And it looks, I think it looks good. And I really like this one, Faith. And then you just let it dry. If you don't like it, just wipe it with alcohol. I think it looks okay. And this is another one that I did. It was like there were smaller coasters. This one, it was really something I had, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna use it. Of course, you can't use this as a coaster, but it looks pretty nice, like the writing. And you just have to practice what letter you want to use. If you're using cursive, like the F, and then just, I don't know how big you want it. Let's see, I'm gonna use this one. I really like the, let's see, I didn't like the T and the H. Let's try it again. Make sure this is dry before you attempt to do it again, because it will just be all runny. Let's see. I don't like it. I'm just gonna let it dry because I think there was some alcohol in there. But see, that's pretty much what you gotta do. And then the pendants, you can use the bales that you can glue in the back, or you can drill a hole. But these ones are kind of thick, so I wouldn't do that. This is one that I already made. I glued the bale in the back, and just wait maybe about 30 minutes and it's done. And you just put like your cord. This one is pretty thick. Another thing you can do is, if I did it with the ones that I already had, I used this pen, gold leaf pen, and then I painted it and like only on the borders. You can do that too. I did it on this one. It's just up to you. It's another option. Something else that you can do too. Let's see. All right, that looks good. So I hope you like this tutorial. Let's bring this other one here. There's so many of them. I'm just gonna leave this ones out. I hope you really like this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel so I can make more videos. It really helps me. If you have any questions, write it in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.